called the story The Little Boy from Herkimer Street, which is where he was born on April 6, 1936, at St. Mary's Hospital in Brooklyn, New York. He was the proud son of Guido Orestes Cappelletti and Pasqualina. They were a middle-class family that had immigrated from Italy many years ago. His parents were both born in this country. In 1951, John had a sister that was born, Judy, my Aunt Judy, who's here today. Interestingly, and I'll give a few interesting facts along the way, Guido, or as we called him, Cappy, and Lena, smoked heavily, several packs a day. Aunt Judy and John never smoked, which is interesting because the information wasn't there at that time. And when I say smoke, it wasn't like today where people smoke outside. No, they smoked inside, in the car, everywhere, in the bedroom. It was a cloud of smoke, in fact. But neither one of them smoked. In 1952, the family moved to Rosedale, which is the eastern suburb of Queens. It was farmland at the time. Think about Queens now, it's not farmland, obviously. In 1954, John graduated from Richmond Hills High School in Queens. He worked at his father's fruit store. His father was a sole proprietor of a fruit stand called Gold Cap. I guess you can guess how he got that name. Small family-owned businesses are a thing of the past. Right now, I think there's a Home Depot where that store once stood. John went to Hunter College and eventually got his MBA at Long Island University. After college, he became a chemist. In 1961, my mother, born in Germany, raised in Germany, took a 14-day cruise. Actually, it wasn't really a cruise, was it, Mom? No. It was on a ship to the United States to start a new life here. Her first week in the country, her and her girlfriend went out. The first night, they saw a sign that said, "Ladies welcome." They went in. Her and her girlfriend met my father, John, after 1 week. They started dating. After 6 months, they were engaged. And 10 months later, they were married. 10 months and 1 week after being in this country. They were married for 50 years. In 1967, they had their only son. The family lived in Morristown, New Jersey at the time. In 1972, they moved to Rochester, New York. They also brought 2 cats. Became part of the family then. Those cats are no longer with us, but we've always had cats, and they were very special to my father. We've always had cats, and you'll see some pictures with the cats. They were family members like many of our cats are. In 1978, my father got a job promotion and moved to Coral Springs, Florida, where they lived until 1992. In 1992, they moved to Santa Barbara in Boca Raton, and it's where my mom will still reside. From the late 90s through the mid-2000s, they also owned a house in Aspen, Colorado, which they loved to visit and ski at. My father was a chemist by trade. That's what he studied at Hunter College. But he wasn't making any money in chemistry, so he went to sales and then operations. And in 1978, he took a job at a company called Visual Graphics. It's a $20 million visual arts company, a graphic arts company. That industry doesn't even exist anymore. As a CEO, he grew the company to $400 million of sales. He sold the company to a Dutch company. He retired in his mid-50s. And as he always told everyone, he highly recommends retirement. He was a pilot, a private pilot. He was a boater, he was a skier, and he loved automobiles. I'll tell you a boating story. In the 90s, we bought a boat together. Well, he really bought the boat. I paid half of the gas. I thought it was a fair deal at the time. And Many of us jumped on the boat and we went out to dinner at a place called La Tabernetta that some of you may have been to. It's on the water in Fort Lauderdale. I don't know if it's still there. But he wanted to take the boat in, and docking was never his strong suit. And to say the least, he misjudged. Well, he misjudged the dock and went crashing into geraniums and took out the first row of tables at La Tabernetta. He didn't go on the boat much after that, and I assumed full ownership of it. I had to pay for all the gas then, though. As you know, he played a lot of golf, and so did I. That's what we did as a family, as a father and son. We vacationed at golf resorts. We enjoyed golf together. John was never in contention for the club championship. He thought of golf as a social game, a way to meet friends, and that enjoy time with friends. He didn't relentlessly battle against the course. He just enjoyed being out there and talking with people. He did, however, have a hole-in-one on the 15th hole of Coral Springs. He called me right afterwards. He was so excited. It was his first hole-in-one, and I was so excited for him. He had a routine after he retired. He would play golf in the morning, have lunch with his friends, come home, turn on CNBC, and then when the market closed, happy hour began. Happy hour never began before the market closed, which is why we started this at 4 o'clock. He would once in a while call his son and ask why the market is down, and then complain about the government. But happy hour came every day after 4 o'clock, and he enjoyed his vodka, cold, straight, up, and of course, a very good pour. Fast forward. September 8th, 2012, my parents' 50-year wedding anniversary. We celebrated it. We had a great time. We had a great dinner. And the next day, they left for a cruise of a lifetime on Silver Seas in the Mediterranean and 3 dives. You know, in 50 years, I was there for 45 of them. I never saw my parents fight. They had what would be a perfect marriage. No rough spots, no arguments. They got around perfectly. And, I've never seen 2 people more in love with each other. 2 weeks before he died, he had probably the greatest 2 weeks of his life. And that's what we're here to celebrate today. He was elected to the board of this club, Boca Lago. He was so excited about that. In fact, he joked. He'd never lost an election. He called himself the George Bush. He's never lost. I don't know if that's a good analogy, but it was. He was playing golf. He was playing better. He was making his quota every day. I would call him. He said, I won $5 on the golf course. He made his quota. A week and a half before he died, we went to Vegas for a terrific vacation. He had bought it at a charity auction, and we took a family trip to Vegas and had a wonderful time at the Venetian Resort, and ate and drank and really enjoyed it. The last weekend, his sister came down, my Aunt Judy, his sister, and we had a wonderful weekend together. We went on a sunset cruise together on the boat, a new boat, we had an upgrade boat, and then had a wonderful dinner, and then his birthday, September 6th. April 6th. We had a wonderful time here at this club. They were dancing the night away to his favorite band. Let me get this. Euphoria. He was playing Neil Diamond at the time, his favorite artist. The day he passed away, I spoke to him 2 hours before he died. He was lamenting what a great day he had. He had a great committee meeting, his first board committee meeting. He has food and beverage, and he said he had a great team. He was so excited about the prospects of Boca Lago. He was excited also that there's a James Bond festival starting on the TV station. He loved James Bond. He also got a large tax refund. It really made his day, I think. That day, the market hit its all-time high, and subsequently had a few more highs, but it was his all-time high that day. He was excited about everything, well, except the leftovers that night. He was a little excited about that. But he said at least it was happy hour, and he was enjoying his vodka. He died that evening, but he lived every day to its fullest. He had no regrets. He lived every day like it was his last day. He was so happy that evening. As we went through the photos, and we went through thousands of photos, you'll see just some of them here, there was one commonality, and we couldn't believe it. He was smiling in all of them. He was happy. He was always happy. And I think all of you that have seen him, you probably never saw him grumpy. And I don't know how that is, because he was always so happy. He always had a joke, had great humor for everyone. And people wanted to be around him. And I think that's a testament why we're all here today. More people wanted to come to this event than people I even know. And that's because they wanted to honor him because of the type of person he was. He made everyone around him a better person and happier. You know, dying quickly, very quickly, he didn't feel anything. It's better. It's the way any of us would probably want to go. And it might be better for him, but it's not better for the family. You always wonder, did you say everything you needed to say to somebody? Did you tell them you loved them? Did they understand it? Did they really mean it? And it's a lesson for all of us. And I would recommend every one of you tell loved ones, I love you. And tell them so that they really mean it. Because we say those words, but do they really understand that you mean it? I'm going to die. We're all going to die. The question is, are you going to have any regrets? What are you going to be remembered for? What is going to be your legacy? Will as many people come to your celebration as wanted to come to this? Why not? You're still alive. You have the opportunity to be like John and be more like him and lead a life like he did. I will miss him. I will remember the smiling man that always gave women the Italian kiss. When he entered the room, he was always smiling. And I still think he will come back into the room. He won't, but his memories will. And that's how we want to remember him, the smiling man. And that is the story of the little boy from Herkimer Street. Thank you, everyone, for coming. Please, if the video camera comes around, talk about some memories for him, because we want to cherish him. Thank you.